We did it.
We're here.
What's going on? You're in the jungle. I'm in the forest today.
You're in the forest. I'm in the safari style Africa jungle. You're in the north. Where are you at? North America?
Canada? I'm gonna go with the badgers found in many continents. Badgers are found in.
How many?
Found all over the world. Can you name the types of badgers?
Don't put me on the spot like that. Honey badger.
Check. Yep.
North American badger.
I want to say.
Is that the name of it?
Yep. American badger.
It's called an American badger.
Yep. We claimed it.
And there's more. What about is Wolverine? Is that? Can we consider that a badger? No.
Wolverine. Oh, we got Dan over here saying you both need mosquito nets.
True.
Absolutely. Mosquitoes are crazy here in Texas right now. But yes, shout out to anyone who knows how many types of badgers there are. There are, I want to say 15 badgers. Let's take a look here before we go any further. We've got the European badger, Japanese badger, greater hog badger, so on and so forth. I didn't even know about all these badgers.
Vietnam ferret badger.
Everybody knows about the honey badger. The animal that has inspired it all.
That's the one.
But anyway, let's jump into it, shall we, Michael?
Let's go.
Here we go. It's November 2023, the monthly customer webinar. So in this call, we're going to be sharing what almost 1,200 marketplaces will get access to this month, some new features, some strategy, some content rundown. Let's start with a little icebreaker, Michael. You know, we have these virtual backgrounds here. We could be anywhere in the world, but I'm curious, where are you tuning in from? And what's an activity you did recently?
Yeah, I'm still in Colombia. I'm currently in Medellin, Colombia. And I actually just yesterday I went and I'm going to take some motorcycle lessons.
Whoa.
I'm inspired by a friend of mine that's doing a cross-country motorcycle trip, and it's just like, man, that just feels like freedom right there, you know.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Cruising.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on a motorcycle?
Not a proper motorcycle. Yesterday was my first day, but I've rode, dirt bikes, ATVs, that type of stuff, scooters. But
right on.
Yeah. How about you?
I am in Austin, Texas. The skyline from springtime. An activity I did here recently, ate some barbecue. That's a very Texas thing to do. Ate a lot of barbecue.
That's a very Texas thing to do.
Yes. Dan over there in San Diego went to a Day of the Dead parade. There was a Day of the Dead parade in Austin, which I also went to. Yes, I hope everyone out there is having a good one. You ever been to a Day of the Dead parade? Highly recommended.
Yeah, I haven't, and they're big in Latin America, not here. Mexico.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah. So if you are new here, welcome. This is our monthly customer webinar. So we make a lot of content. This one's just primarily for our customers or people who might be interested in being customers. We roll out updates monthly, both in terms of our content and strategy that we share with our customers, but also with the tool itself. So we want to have a spot for in the busy life of an e-commerce brand or an Amazon marketer. So many things are flowing by. This is really the sync up point. So if there's one piece of content that you can get all the insights from our other content, as well as, we throw a lot of emails out, but there's one spot where we talk about those updates and we talk about how to use those updates. That's what this is for. And plus it's a busy time of year. So, we release, like 7 pillar pieces of content a month. We release about 3 ACOS weather reports, and then we release 4 strategy posts as well. And what's cool about this is we can sort of talk about some of the strategy and how it connects to Ad Badger here as well. So 2023 is a busy time. People don't have time to listen to all this stuff sometimes. So this is sort of the distilled version. So this is something I recently was inspired by. Actually, a listener of the PPC Den inspired me to do this. And Michael, really, I love data. I love looking at spreadsheets. I study a lot of Amazon PPC accounts anyway. So now I just take all the accounts and I'm like, what's the ACoS of all the accounts doing this week compared to last week? And then I create some content each week, sort of sharing some insight about what it means. And a lot of people feel different ways about spreadsheets. What's your thoughts on spreadsheets?
Man, I never really had a background in it. In sales, it's just not really a thing, but it's so hugely important. I've gotten a little bit better, but man, I'd love to be a whiz in it, but I don't like them. I'm not like you. You know, you're a different breed. You know, you PPC specialist because you love being in those spreadsheets, man.
I think so. So essentially, it's a really great series. I started it in early September, and basically, the trend here, if you are paying attention, I think this is really interesting. So basically, conversion rate is down. You know, going into Q4, it's actually down. You see this spike here. This is actually Prime Day, 10th and 11th of October, and then since the beginning of September, you can see there's been a general downward trend in conversion rate. You know, this is not a macroeconomics uh, webinar, but you know, there's some kind of trend happening, right? Where people are maybe softening up on their purchases, saving it for peak sales period. So you can imagine during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we're going to see a massive conversion rate spike again. Going into like late November, December, people are going to be purchasing all their Christmas gifts. I think that's when we'll see the big spike in conversion rate. So people it looks like they're holding off. Now, what's really interesting about this is that you would expect a decreased conversion rate to lead to a decreased ACoS. I absolutely love this because this is AdBadger customer data in aggregate, so about 1,200 ad accounts. And what do we see here? We see that as conversion rate dips, CPC has automatically, you know, we're optimizing millions of bids every day, and you can see that it automatically decreases, but the ACoS stays exactly where it, you know, the average has been for the last, you know, several years, which is an average ACoS of about 28, 29, 30%. And I absolutely love this. So to me, this is like a really cool indicator that our bid algorithm is actually doing what it's supposed to do. You know, people set a target ACoS, they want it to stay at that target ACoS and be at that target ACoS. And even when conversion rate shifts, the algorithm is being able to respond to this. So I think this is really cool, don't you, Michael?
I do. I'm glad that you're getting that data. I need to be able to share that stuff. People ask me sometimes, like, "What's a good ACoS? What's an average ACoS?"
This is this is the average, and I absolutely love studying this. And this helps inform our bid algorithm. So we look at our bid algorithm and we make tweaks to it periodically. And I always challenge users out there: if you find something that you think the algorithm increased bids, you think it should decrease bids, we want to study that and discover what the algorithm is doing so that we can make improvements on it. And honestly, Michael, I haven't gotten feedback like that in a long time. We're like, hey, why is the algorithm bidding down? It should have been up, or vice versa. So it's pretty dialed in. It feels pretty good. There was also some content created for rest of search placements. This is on our roadmap. It'll be in the app soon. The big takeaway here as an Amazon marketer is do not set your bids very low, like your keyword bid very low, and then do a gigantic placement modifier, like a 900% placement modifier. Even though this is technically mathematically correct, Amazon does not want you to do this. They want your bid to be high enough to actually enter the auction. So this is a major part of the AdBadger algorithm in the sense of, you know, we are a keyword bidding algorithm. And what we do is look at the performance of that keyword. And then all your top of search, your rest of search, your placement settings, they're all baked into that keyword level performance. So what we actually recommend people to do is look at that placement data and nudge it up and down based off the performance of that placement. And we make it really, really easy. You can go in and select multiple campaigns, modify multiple campaigns, top of search or product page, and soon to be rest of search at once. And AdBadger is going to keep that keyword level performance exactly where it should be. So I absolutely love that part of our algorithm, that it is focused so much on the keyword bid. And then it will work with whatever the placement bid strategy people are rocking with, which I really like. You ever you what did you watch this one? This is one of my favorite podcasts I think we've ever done.
I didn't catch that one.
Uh,
I gotta
yeah,
catch this one.
it's one of my favorite ones. Elizabeth Green and I, we had scary virtual backgrounds, and it was basically 10 scary things that happen in Amazon PPC audits. Again, I'm looking at data, I'm studying data, and I see a lot of different things. And the two things that I think Ad Badger addresses really well are these two big PPC mistakes. First one is inactivity. You know, Amazon campaigns benefit from activity. I think that if someone doesn't know anything about Amazon PPC, like literally they know zero, and they open up their account and they look at it the first day it launches, the second day, the third day, the fourth day, and they're just checking in. They're very diligent. They're always looking at it. I guarantee you that that account will be better in 6 months than someone that knows a ton of stuff but never logs in. So like being active is a cornerstone of like good performance, because if you think about it, you're able to like wake up, look at the account, scratch your head, make an adjustment, come in the next day, see if the adjustment worked or didn't work, which is so hyper valuable. So the tiny changes per day are the most important thing. And, to throw it back to the bid algorithm, this is why we built it that way. Tiny changes every day, scanning your account, checking over your search terms every day. So what's cool about it is like you can be very active in your account with Ad Badger without actually like logging in, because it's changing your bids, it's scanning through your search terms, it's like doing a whole bunch of stuff. And we have a scheduler coming, you'll be able to schedule anything. So I think this is really cool how we're able to solve one of these biggest issues, which is activity. Changing bids of anywhere from 0 to 5% per day to try to get a better ACOS. So I absolutely love that one. That's an important part of our app. Another really cool thing we do is product level ACOS and total ACOS. I'm actually going to save this because I think this is a really misunderstood thing. So I'm going to save this for once we log into the tool. This was a super fun one. In case you missed this one, this was one of the first sit down and podcast episodes I've done in a while. But Josh from eSpark came in and we talked about a whole bunch of different podcasts. Podcast topics. We talked about like Zapier and ChatGPT and like using email lists for Amazon. So we focused a lot on brand tailored promotions, which is a new feature which I recommend. So yeah, we covered a lot of different stuff. This was a fun one. And then I podcasted with Mansoor. We talked about the customer loyalty dashboard inside Amazon, which is pretty interesting. If you have repeat purchasers in your company, it's definitely going to be helpful because it'll show you what percentage of people are buying a lot from you or what percentage of people are not. Pretty useful feature inside Amazon now. Now, let's jump in to the main event. The Badger's favorite software wins. Here's a Badger. There's obviously a Honey Badger. And let's jump in. So the first thing I want to say is improved speed. This was a big one. And, I was actually looking at like the customer webinar from a couple months ago. We always make leaps in speed, which is really, really cool. We make leaps in speed, we grow a little bit, and then we make a couple more leaps in speed.
It's an important one. People want speed, need speed.
You mentioned spreadsheets, and not a lot of people, if you go into Amazon and you say, show me all of my product ads, there's some people with a lot of product ads in Amazon, and it just sort of is a white screen and it just sort of hangs there. I think somebody maybe had, a couple of thousand products, and they didn't even know that page was supposed to load. And then in our tool, like it was able to load. And, when we think about how to look at lots of columns and lots of rows all at once, it's like an incredibly vital part to the Amazon advertising experience. It's like, I want to view all of my keywords in every single ad group, in every single campaign. And then I want to filter it down for just the high ACOS ones, or just the low ACOS ones, or the ones with 10 clicks and no orders. And like you need to be able to go through this really fast. And it was always my vision to build an interface that was faster inside Ad Badger than it was like to go into Amazon and download the report. And I think we've got it. Like I anytime if I need to go make changes to an Amazon account, I'm definitely doing it inside AdBadger because it's just faster. So let's say I have a task to decrease bids 5% if the A cost is over 70%. Guaranteed, like side by side comparison, AdBadger is going to be faster. Like log into AdBadger, select 30 days, hit your saved filter, bulk select, make your bid change, boom. Or like if you wanted to negate keywords, add new negatives from your search terms, like show me all my search terms, with over 10 clicks and no orders, boom, add as negatives. AdBadger is going to be faster. So I really love like what we've done here with like bulk actions and modifying bids and changing bids and adding negatives, and speed is a vital component of that. So shout out to everyone at AdBadger trying to make AdBadger even faster. I still don't think we're done. We still got room to go.
That's the way that we're trained by technology, is like faster, faster, faster. It's always going to be a game of like chasing that. But I love when you say that. It's like the app is always faster than doing it inside of Amazon Ads Console. So.
And it's interesting the way that it works. Like we have more columns now than we did like 2 years ago. Like we're just adding new data, so we can add more data to our columns. Like recently we added, like active status. You want to know if a keyword is enabled, paused, but like there's other statuses like ad delivering or out of budget and stuff like that. So we recently added those. Now you can filter through that. So like we make it faster, we add more stuff, and then we have to go back and make it faster again. So this will be an ongoing thing, and I absolutely love it. This is a big one, Michael. I know we've talked a lot about this. Here's a badger taking your calls. Increased office hour availability. I took the screen cap today on the 13th, so you can get a call on Wednesday. So we have office hours. Office hours are great. Where basically you can sit down with an Amazon PPC professional and talk about anything you need to talk to. You could talk about your account. You could talk about AdBadger tools, getting the most out of it. Most of the time on these calls, I'm talking to people about how to use the tool a little bit faster, a little bit more efficiently. And sometimes I'm talking about, hey, let's take a look at this Amazon product together. Do you see any holes in our advertising strategy? So there's lots of cool things that could be talked about on office hours. And we just brought a new badger into the den, and shout out to John. And it's been great. We're able to get more calls per week, shorter booking times, and it's office hours.
We just got a recent comment from Dan. He said that he'd love SOPs, kind of like the filters and things that you talked about. And that's what these calls are for. You do got to be more proactive, but if you get on them, those are the types of things that you guys will cover with them. And I know internally we're working on providing more kind of like self-service onboarding and SOPs and things like that.
There's always more content to create.
There's always.
It's we really do come out with new updates every month, which it makes actually SOPs harder to make than because like we'll have an SOP and then we'll have to go back and like update it, and like
it just gets better. It gets better.
It just gets better and better. Yeah. But yeah, Sam, we're always trying to do a little bit better there for sure. And now let's jump over to a feature focus, and I want to focus on this orange box in our tool. So this is the product dashboard, one of our many dashboards here. And I want to focus on it because there's a lot of interesting things here, a lot of sort of advanced data points here that are helpful to point out. So it's basically product level ad analysis and product level analysis here. So I want to make a really important distinction here. And I think this is more of a intermediate advanced piece of Amazon knowledge, which is really helpful to understand, because let's break this down. We have our product dashboard, and then we have our ad manager. Our product dashboard displays same product sales. So if they click on product A, we will show you sales for product A that came from that ad. pretty straightforward, right? It's accurate for tracking total ACoS data.
Mm-hmm.
On the right side, you have your ad manager. This is the same thing inside of Amazon. So the ad manager in our tool mirrors what Amazon does. It displays sales for any sale that happened after an ad click. And it's very accurate for advertising performance. So here's what's interesting here. Person clicks product A. They buy any product. They can buy a product A through Z. And for some accounts, most sales are other SKUs. Like think about all the different size variations. Like if you sell shoes in every different size, somebody might click on one and then end up buying another. In fact, I would say maybe with clothing, 70 or 80% is other SKU sales. So that's ad performance. And Amazon doesn't really make it very clear to you that it's actually happening inside their interface. So in their interface, when you go to advertising.amazon.com and you're looking at your campaign performance and your ad performance, you see that you got so many clicks on a product and then so many sales are next to it, but it's really the product ad that you got sales from. So the product ad and then anything else that converts will get attributed back to that product ad, not the product, if that makes sense. Okay. So they're clicking on product A, but they're buying any one of your products, different color, different size, potentially different product altogether. And that is your ad manager ACoS. So that's just like Amazon. In our product dashboard on the left side, we use the same product only because that's really the only accurate way to get true total ACoS data. And as far as I know, we're the only tool that explicitly says this. Because if somebody clicks on product A, you want to know how many ad sales came from product A so that you can really accurately predict your total ACoS. And I'm curious, Michael, like, total ACoS data is definitely something that we've heard from customers for a while that they were looking for. We've had it in our tool now for, I think, maybe 9 months or so. And I'm curious, like when people come and talk to you, they talk about total ACoS goals or like trying to track their total ACoS. Do they ever bring this up, to make this distinction? Like we actually draw the distinction in our tool, which I think is pretty unique.
Yeah, you want to know, it doesn't happen all the time, but admittedly, I don't bring that up. So this is an important one.
Yeah.
There's only so much that I can dive into on those calls.
I know you need like a 6-hour sales call.
Yeah, but that's important to highlight. I don't think a lot of people are maybe tracking it to that.
There's no doubt. In fact, when a lot of times when I'm talking to people inside of our tool, sharing this information, it's like they're trying to track total ACoS per product, but they're doing it with Ad Manager or Amazon data. And they're missing the full story because it's an inaccurate total ACoS because the sales for that product are inflated sometimes by 2x. So we'll break down an example here, but here's actually an example. So what we see here is our total ACoS. So this is our total ACoS dashboard, and I absolutely love this spot for assessing performance of ad spend versus total sales. So total ACoS to try to get a sense of margin, so to speak. And what this does, when you are here, there's sort of 3 tabs here, which we're going to break down: ad data, total ACoS, and hourly data. And since I just mentioned total ACoS, we'll start there. So basically, when you look at this, you have products, A, B, C, D. And then right next to it, it'll tell you how many clicks that product received in your ad campaigns, of course, from sponsored products and sponsored display data. And you see 60 clicks, 157, 152, 793. So you see the amount of clicks that it received. And then right next to it, you have your ad orders. So these are ad orders of people clicking on this product and purchasing this specific product, as opposed to normal ad data, like inside the ad console in Amazon or inside Ad Manager, that will show you sales for this product and any other product that they purchased from you, which is good for advertising performance. But it's not great when you're trying to assess how much did I spend on this product and how much revenue did this product generate, which is like the total ACoS, ad cost of total sales. So you can see your ad spend on that specific product, and then your ad revenue on that specific product. Um, and then, of course, your ACOS for that specific product, which is going to be very different than your ACOS for your advertising data, which will include other products. So, a lot of times when people are doing total ACOS analysis, they're missing this vital point that they're not using the same SKU sales. They're just sort of saying, I'm getting a click on a product, I'm getting a sale for any product, and that's going to be my total ACOS. It's actually inaccurate. AdBadger does it the accurate way, which I absolutely love. So it allows for you to then see your total sales for the product. This includes your advertising and everything else. So advertising and organic. And then it will list units sold. And then, of course, your approximate organic sales. So you can see for this first product, if we just walk through this, 10% total ACOS, which is the ad spend over the total sales. That's about 10%. It'll tell you how many total units were sold, both paid and organic. It'll approximate the organic revenue. It's basically everything that is not an ad sale. It'll show you how many sales you got from ads and then your advertising performance. So what's so interesting about this is if I have a product like this, it's a 75-foot expandable badger. Obviously, all these products are in the witness protection program, hiding their identity. So what you see here is like this is a product that uses sizes. So like you have a 75-foot, 100-foot, 50-foot, 75-foot, 75-foot. And you can see here that sort of they all have high ACOSs, but that doesn't mean they have a high total ACOS. So you can see here people are clicking on products and then ending up buying a different one. They're buying a different one. They're sort of saying, okay, let me click this one. It got 60 clicks, only one order through ads, but it got 22 orders through organic. So it's doing super well. 10% ACOS, 18% ACOS, 7% ACOS, 10% total ACOS for an account level, 13% total ACOS. So this view allows people to think about their advertising in ways that, as far as I know, you cannot get elsewhere. And funny enough, this account was having a lot of like people clicking on a 75-foot badger and then ended up buying a 100-foot badger. Like they were doing that a lot and they didn't know that was happening. And then you looked at their advertising performance, their advertising data. And what would happen was they were serving 75-foot ads. They were serving 75-foot ads for like 50-foot keywords. They were serving 75-foot ads for like 100-foot keywords. So they were actually mismatching the like sizing. So imagine you're selling clothing and you're serving like a medium-sized shirt when somebody searches for small. And it can get even worse than that. Like there's people that sell products for parents and they have their products for dads being displayed when people are searching products for mom. Because maybe they're just targeting gift ideas. It's like gifts for mom, they're showing ads for gifts for dad. So like that mashup actually happens more often than you'd think. So this tool can help illuminate that. So this particular product, the 75-foot one, they were getting tons of traffic for like their 50-foot or their 100-foot keywords. So what you end up doing is you end up adding negative keywords here. So like you add negative 100-foot, negative 75-foot, negative 50-foot, and you end up improving the ACOS, thus lowering your total ACOS. So you would never know that unless you had a report like this, which I absolutely love. So total ACOS shows you your total ACOS right next to your ad data. And this is a really fine point that it is the same SKU as opposed to how most reports like this look. They'll just show you sales for any product after somebody clicked. So this is pretty big. And the way that you take advantage of this is that number one, you don't end up thinking your performance is better than it is. And you don't see a high product ACOS and think that's a bad total ACOS. So you can see this product, 50-foot, it's got an ACOS of 72%, but a total ACOS of just 7%. So it's actually doing super well and it's leading to a lot of sales, but it's just important information to be aware of. So this is one, I think, a very underrated part of our tool that it actually shows you same SKU or same product data sales right next to total sales for that product. So you can get a true sense of your total ACOS. Now, if you have a product like this has a high ACOS, 86%, and a high total ACOS of 18%. So this is the perfect opportunity to say like, oh, I should make some adjustments to my advertising. This 100-foot expandable badger is a little bit too expensive. So then I'm going to go and I'm going to pare it down ever so slightly. So yeah, this is huge. So like the total ACOS data, as far as I know, we're the only tool that gives you this true, accurate view of your total ACOS. So score another one for the badger, Michael.
This is even better than I knew of. So I'm excited about that. And not only are people not getting the most accurate data when they're doing it, but I've also heard that this is pretty cumbersome to go and pull that data and create and get the total ACOS. And it's not even fully accurate for folks that aren't using the tool. So they're getting a double whammy by doing it without Ad Badger. So
for sure. So if you go into your Amazon advertising and you say like download your product report, like your advertising report, your product ads, and you download that. If you download it from the wrong spot, you get wrong information for this. If you download it from the right spot, it's only for a sponsored product, so you can't combine sponsored display. So like that's another manual step that you need to make. And then you need to go over just to Seller Central and download your product data and then combine these two things. So yeah, to have it on demand like this is huge. Dan asked a really interesting question. Plans to allow Bids by Badger to use total ACOS. So Dan, this is a fantastic question. So I have a couple notes on this. So the bid is set at the keyword level. And you have to ask the question, what is a keyword's total ACOS? Keywords don't have total ACOS. So it makes it difficult to incorporate this metric. However, I'm going to mention this towards the end of the call, but I'll mention it here, is what we will have next year is sort of a scheduler. So you can create a schedule of activities, which is like when, every Monday at 9 a.m., if my total ACOS is over 15%, then decrease my bids 5% and repeat every Monday. So there's going to be, reduce these bids 5%. So there is going to be a way for you to do this, but the core algorithm won't change, but we'll have like little automations you can use to click on and maybe tweak in some way so that you can still accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, which is like when total ACOS goes up, decrease my bids. We're going to be able to put that on an automation for you. But the algorithm itself needs to look at just advertising data because that's where keyword bids are set. Hopefully that answers your question. So that's the total ACOS product data. I absolutely love it. Now, a quick thing for people, that was the second tab. On the first tab is advertising data. So again, this here also uses the same SKU data from before. So it's showing you the same performance from the same SKU, which is really good information to know. The other thing I would say too is we have the star to favorite products. So this is a really important thing. So you star a product, and then what we'll begin to do is begin to sync your total ACOS data. So if anyone in their tool doesn't see total ACOS data, just go over to add data and then favorite some of those products. And then you, my friend, will have total ACOS data. So that is how that works. Now, favoriting stuff will give you total ACOS data, and it'll give you, if you go over here, you can also get hourly data. So let's talk about hourly data for a second here. And what you see here, if I click on, what's cool about this is you can add multiple products to get hourly data, which is cool because a lot of times, if I'm selling like a parent and child product, so in this case, I'm selling 75-foot badgers, 100-foot badgers, 50-foot badgers, and maybe I want to combine my big sizes, my 75-foot and 100-foot, and then I want to combine my smaller sizes, my 50-foot and my 25-foot. I can view hourly data on a combined basis, which is really cool. And when you do that, I could be looking at one product here. I could be looking at 3 products here. I can be looking at 10 products or 100 products here. And what this is doing is essentially this, is it's giving you a heat map of when sales are happening and when units are being ordered. So the first way to view this is with a heat map like this. Obviously, this time frame is a hot time frame, and you can see that this particular product, this expandable badger, does really well in sort of the center time frame. Does almost nothing at midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Starts to pick up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. By 5 a.m., 6 a.m., I'm starting to get some significant sales. And what's cool about this is most people have a dead zone of like 11 p.m. all the way till 3 a.m., where you're just not doing as many sales, which is the perfect opportunity. So like you can see here, they haven't had a sale at Monday at midnight, Tuesday at midnight, Wednesday at midnight in the last 2 weeks. And you can extend this time frame out further. So you can see here that people haven't had sales during, Sundays before 5 for 2 weeks. So imagine like adding dates here. So imagine you're viewing like the last 7 Saturdays and like, well, I haven't gotten a sale Saturday at from midnight to 3 in the last 6 weeks. I'm just going to like decrease my bids by 50% there. Like I don't need to be spending money on that time frame. So this takes the bids by Badger bid algorithm, and it gives you another path to engage with your bids, in the sense of, if you have significant data, if you have sort of data that's big enough that allows you to look at your data like this and allows you to make some decisions on it, you can begin to sort of say like, hey, it's going to be really profitable for me to, decrease my bids in the middle of the night, early morning, which is going to be really great. So we're adding a couple things to the screen in the next week or so, probably the next month or so. What we're going to be doing is like percentage of total. So like you'll be able to see like what percentage is this number. So you'd see here I have about 1,400 in sales. What actual percentage of the total sales is that? That way you can begin to think in percentages of like, oh, I'm doing like 75% of my sales here, or like I'm doing 25% of my sales here. I'm doing 0% of my sales here. So I think thinking in terms of percentages better than your average is going to be really big. Like, what's my average sales per hour? Oh, during this time, my average sales per hour is 25% bigger. I'm going to increase bids there 25% in that hour. Like, it's going to be sick. Day parting is something we've wanted for quite some time, and it's really a technical thing. If you think about it, we're optimizing millions of bids every day, and we do it around midnight. As soon as we start incorporating bidding by hour of the day, it's possible that there's 168 hours in the week. Take the 3 million bids and multiply that by 168 hours. So like it took a lot of technical work to get done, and we're being very meticulous with how we're releasing it to be sure that it's going to be technically sound, which is something we do now. We're really meticulous about when we release things and how much we test them, and being sure that when they do get released, it's going to be a good polished product. So hourly day parting will be coming out in the next couple weeks, which I'm really excited about. We've been waiting a long time for this, haven't we, Michael?
Oh yeah. I'm so excited for it. We had so many people that wanted it and want it, and yeah, that's a huge one.
Yeah. A quick segue just to make it for the people. Ruslan, which is two pigeons in leather jackets, asked, what if I wanted total ROAS? This was a question in reference to here, total ROAS. Well, in order to get, we do only list ACOS. ACOS is a very big Amazon thing. But the way to get that is to just flip the, you have to flip the, what am I saying? You have to flip the ratio here. So total ACOS is ad cost over sales, and ROAS is sales over ad spend, revenue over ad spend. So one thing you can do to make it really easy is to just export the data. So like export it, and then you can add a column in your spreadsheet for ROAS. So like you would just flip that. So like a 20% ROAS becomes a 5x revenue over ad spend, ROAS. So that's pretty cool. And I have some mixed feelings about day parting, or I should say, have had some mixed feeling about day parting.
Mm-hmm.
In 2020, when it was first sort of discussed, I was like, no way. How would you ever have enough data to make accurate predictions for a keyword? If a single keyword gets like one sale a month, how could you possibly know what hour of the week to bid more or bid less on? Or, hey, if a keyword only gets one order a week, that's going to be at a random time every week. So like, how are you possibly supposed to know what to do? And then in 2023, I started doing a lot more studying of the data, started analyzing things. And this is a chart here of weekends versus weekdays. You see anything about this chart, Michael?
Yeah.
It got peaks and it's got valleys.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is ACOS. So higher is worse, like higher is less profitable advertising. And guess what those peaks are? Again, this is for 1,200 marketplaces. Those peaks are actually for, let's get your guesstimate. Do you think people buy more stuff on Amazon on weekdays or weekends in general?
Weekends.
Got bad news for you.
It's weekdays.
People are shopping during the work week.
Really? Yeah.
People
They're in there.
like they're
when they're working.
you're at work, you're buying stuff. So that's in general, right? There are some accounts in some niches where it's flipped, where there's actually more sales and a better ACOS on the weekends. But for the most part, people convert and it's pretty significant, like during week, like Monday through Friday, on average, people are at like 27, 28, 29% ACOS. And then on the weekends is normally peaking to like 32%, 33% ACOS. So it actually jumps quite a bit, which is pretty interesting, because if you think about it, like a 3-point ACOS change when you're at like 27, that's actually 11% worse. 11% worse ACOS on the weekends. So then I was like, wait a second, this is so different. Like when you look at data in aggregate, you can see that it begins to get pretty different. And then when you start to look at like something like this, you see even within the day, it's pretty different. So like not
During
every
the work
hour
day.
during the workday, right? Like look at this. This is like peak times are like,
Yeah.
8 to or like 7 or 8, because like this is time zone dependent, right? So we're looking at this like West Coast time, around 7 a.m. West Coast time. That's when people on the East Coast are starting to wake up. So like they're starting to buy, and like peak time is like right here, which I think is so fascinating. So yeah, there's a lot of people shopping Monday through Friday. Now there are some products that do end up doing better on the weekends. So I think this is a really useful thing to know, where like where's people are buying, where people are not buying. And so it just sort of got me going. And then in 2023, as we're working on our day parting, you know what Amazon does? They release their own day parting.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to know what? They release it in the most Amazon way: increase only. Meaning increase only, not decrease. So in classic sort of ad platform manner, you can increase this only. So what I mean there is, like, if you have an area where you do absolutely nothing and your sales are non-existent, why would I want to return this to a baseline? I would want to actually take this below my base bid. I would actually want to decrease this, 10% or decrease this 50%. If I haven't had a sale on Sunday before 5 a.m. in the last 7 weeks, why on earth am I going to continue to bid there? Or I should say, why am I going to continue to bid with full intensity during this time frame? Like, it makes sense for me to maybe decrease it 20%. And maybe I'll pick up a sale. And if I do, I can start to, change that decrease to just 5%. And then if I start getting even more sales, I can increase it to positive 5% or 10%. So like having the ability to go up in your bid and down in your bid is really paramount to getting exactly what you want here. I want to increase my bids during this time, and maybe I want to decrease them at around midnight all the way until 4 a.m. And this kind of analysis at the product level allows you to aggregate all of your performance for that product, which I think is super valuable too. So you can aggregate your product performance. That's going to be hold data for all of your campaigns, as well as their parent-child relationships too, which I think is really useful for you to make more informed decisions than if you were just looking at an individual keyword. So I'm super stoked on this. It's basically taken one bid and it's multiplied it out by 168, allowing you to get the most accurate bid. So I think this is going to be huge for us in 2024. So 2023, you will be able to do increase bids at certain times, decrease bids at a certain time, which I think is really nice. And then 2024, we're sort of going to expand on this scheduler and this sort of day parting, where you'll be able to day part pretty much whatever you want. At a certain time, lower my budgets this amount, or increase my budgets, or enable this keyword, or enable this campaign, or pause this product, anything you want, which I think is going to be really nice. So I'll have more information on day parting because it's such a impactful feature. I think it's going to change the way that a lot of people interact with their data and see their data differently. And that's the presentation. So if anyone else ever has things you would like to add to our roadmap, I check my LinkedIn inbox. You can always send me a message on LinkedIn. We have adbadger.com/roadmap. You can actually take a look at our roadmap and what we have coming down the pipeline. Yeah, we're not that hard to get in touch with. Our contact form, you can send a message to Michael Bonanno. He will happily field your call. So that's our presentation. We do this once a month, and I couldn't be more excited about day parting coming in hot real soon.
Yeah, it's a big one. And it's cool that you publicly say it, because you back in 2022, I know people were already kind of starting to ask for it, and I know that you were not really fully sold on it, and then now you're like, yeah, it's time to get it, but do it right, because there's some other tools out there that have it, but are they doing it the Badger way? Are they doing it accurately? Are they doing it thoughtfully? So
yeah, get a lot of data out there. Well, that's the presentation. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. We do this about once a month. We'll probably do another one at the end of the year. We have a newsletter where we share a lot of our advertising stuff. And yeah, I think sending people to the roadmap, and I can blast this out, adbadger.com/roadmap. And now it'll be posted on YouTube and Facebook, and LinkedIn as well. We are streaming on LinkedIn. What's up, LinkedIn? Anyway, Michael, we've done it. I hope you have a great work week. I hope everyone has a great work week. It's Monday. Go get it. And shout out to Josh, who's saying, product dashboard? It is a game changer, Josh. How else could you possibly get this data in Amazon? You'd be going nuts. To get that data. Anyway, thank you everyone for attending. I will be releasing another podcast this week. More Amazon PPC strategy coming. We've got more updates in store. Have a good one. And Michael, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you.
Michael, how many badgers are there?
It's 15 different species.
Let's get it. Have a good one, everybody.
See ya.